Now, before you watch the video, let me just say that I speak from this from the point of view of a normie, and by normie, I mean I'm not a gamer. I don't frequent the gaming community. I'm not really familiar with many of the big influences in the gaming community, and I'm not too familiar with Twitch. So I speak merely as a normie, and also because the situation kind of is in some way similar, not totally, as we'll see, but in some way similar to the Ed Piskor situation in that it involves an influencer or creative and allegations that he appropriately was messaging a minor. And as we showed earlier with the Ed Piskor stuff, Molly Dwyer was not a minor, but that's that may or may not be the case with this one, but we're going to just dissect the information. Now, the goal of the video is not for me to tell you what I think. I mean, I'll pepper my opinions throughout, but it's to show the available information that's come out since Cody Connors, who revealed himself to be a former Twitch employee, made some allegations about Dr. Disrespect. And I'll just show you from his own tweet so you can see that I'm not misrepresenting what he's saying. So Cody Connors stated that he, meaning Dr. Disrespect, got banned because got caught. Yeah, that's how I wrote it. Got caught sexting a minor in a then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at a TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. So that started opening up questions about Dr. Disrespect's original banning from Twitch because there was no information ever shared about why he got banned. When Dr. Disrespect, aka Herschel Guy Beam, was banned, he was very public about not knowing why. So he made a public spectacle of going after Twitch to find out why he was deplatformed. So on June 27th, 2020, Dr. Disrespect posted on his Twitter that he didn't get an answer from Twitch on why he was banned. And since then, when he and Twitch, I guess when they had a meeting or started having communications about the situation, nothing was public other than he was bought out of his contract, and then he went on to YouTube and had a career on YouTube there. He stated that Twitch had not notified him on his specific reason behind the decision. Firm handshakes to all support during this difficult time. That was on June 28th, 2020. So he never was given, at least according to him at the time, he wasn't given a reason. And as we're going to see later on, we're going to find out exactly what happened during this time. But they bought out his contract. He went onto YouTube, had a lucrative career on YouTube. Nothing more was said about the ban until Cody Connors a few days ago, as of this video, put it out there that he was banned because he was caught sexting minors. Cody also put it out there that he was doing a show, and he put that information out there to increase his ticket sales. So he was looking to garner some kind of financial gain from this. So that's something that needs to be considered, that he put that out there for financial gain. He even had it on his profile that he was not being sued. So definitely poking the bear there, he is. Well, in the few days since then, Dr. Disrespect did reply, and he put an official statement out on Twitter. It should also be verified that Cody has admitted to doing this for having fun and playing around. A tweet by a Savage Artist says that Cody has gone full Riddler, and that Cody's playing with allegations, relying on court of public opinion and racing to verify things. Cody says those 3 tweets warrant admonishment, maybe more than 3. The stands trying to dig stuff up have been so underwhelming that I presume they missed something. I apologize for it all because it's worth apologize for. That's exactly how he worded it. The subtext of the bit, again, shameworthy, is that you're the last person to know. The information has been so normalized, declawed in the circles that I ran in that could be reduced to illusion and entendre. For everyone who has since said that's fucked, I agree with you on Friday night before you wrote it. I should have agreed with you sooner. I cannot take it back, but I can stop it. I never said I'm a perfect person. I just hope this class grades on a curve. He then said, that said, I'm the least sued I've ever been. Guys, lawyers work weekends. I don't think they had a few things they just need to get to before they circled back to this. I'm also a little irked at Jake, who is very clearly trying to split the difference with what he thinks is half of his potential audience. But I also deserve to feel bad about the things he's flagged. I just do. But I also know Jake is racing to verify that screenshot from the world's leader in multiplayer entertainment is legit. Enforcement ID 7278926. And things are dragging on. Knowing who I was racing, I would probably put out some content too. Now, that tweet was actually a modified version of this tweet here, in which he says the same things. But as you can see, this was a deleted tweet because of this last paragraph. So I'm going to read this last paragraph in which he says, exacerbating that this is the fact that I know Jake has been trying to verify leaked screenshots from the TNS section of the world's leader in multiplayer entertainment since yesterday afternoon. He's racing a couple of other more talented people. Jake, all this is really silly, but the version of that document I got has your team's watermark on it, so maybe you check in. So teetering on some very legal, sensitive information. And of course, the person that tweeted this, Savvy Artist, said that you don't play with these kind of allegations. And Cody has also changed his bio multiple times, having fun with all of this. Even Camelot stated that Cody is 100% trying to gain some clout and relying on no one being brave enough to sue him into the ground. He just wants some money and an audience because he's never experienced it. He'll get it, just not the one he thinks. So it's important to remember that Cody Connors, from what it appears, is pretty unbalanced person just based on the fact that he's putting out stuff and then deleting it and then rewording it. And just having, in his mind, having fun with the idea that he may not get sued for defamation. Now, here is Dr. Disrespect's official reply to the allegations. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm only going to read the parts that are relevant. He says, the Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filler with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. Midnight Society, by the way, is the gaming project that he co-founded, and they dropped him. I won't show the tweet, but they dropped him after they claimed they did their own investigation and presumed his innocence. But they started speaking to all parties. They felt it was best to let him go. Now, I'm not sure that they spoke to the quote-unquote minor that I was going to say victim, but there are no victims unless they're provable victims. But the other person that Dr. Disrespect was talking to, I doubt they reached out to her. But anyway, Midnight Society is getting backlash over it. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. That I'm just saying that's what happened because the allegation that came out was enough for Midnight Society to part ways with Dr. Disrespect. And he says in his next paragraph here that he said we made the painful decision to have him step down. So he's telling people not to take it out on Midnight Society. Don't punish them for this choice. But here he addresses the ban from Twitch, and he claims that 2 former employees from Twitch have came public with the accusation. So he's going to tell his side of the story. The part that's relevant is where he says here, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. So let me stop you for a second. There was a hoopla on Twitter because apparently he was re-editing this post, and some were saying that he took out the word minor. Now, this is the most recent version of the post, and the word minor is intact in this post. So he is acknowledging that he was messaging a minor, and he doesn't deny that. Now, what he says next is, or what he asks is, were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in a direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. Now, where he's getting into trouble here is when he admits that the conversations leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate. See, that opens up the possibility that, yeah, you may have said some things that you don't say to a minor. And then the question is, did he know that this girl was a minor? We're going to get to that in a second. But he admits to DMing her. And although he says nothing illegal happened, nothing was shared, no crimes committed. And we're going to get into that in a second. You're going to see that there was an investigation done. According to a former Twitch employer, a screenshot of an email that Dr. Disrespect shared in his last live stream. But there was an NDA that was signed between him and Twitch, which is why no answers were given after the ban was kept in effect. What some people have said to me was that there is a policy on Twitch where you cannot be younger than the age of 13. So you have to be 13 and over to be a member of, or rather have an account on Twitch. So if it ever got out that they were making it accessible for minors, and by minors I mean 16 and younger, to have access to Twitch capabilities, it would make the platform look bad. So, and again, we're going to see in an email that that's the case. But taking Dr. Disrespect at his words, he left it open for people to say, what exactly did you mean by inappropriate? So without clarifying it, now people start to think the worst. It's like, well, how do you talk to a minor in an inappropriate way without intentions? It doesn't make sense. So admittedly, it's going to cause a lot of doubt with some people. Now, I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just saying that the wording leaves doubt about your innocence there. That's what I'm simply saying. What we have next here is an email, which I'm going to show right now. I do apologize for the size of it. This is about as big as I can make it, and I'll read it so you don't have to worry about squinting your eyes. But this is an email from a former Twitch employee. His name was blacked out by Dr. Disrespect himself, allegedly. And this is what this person says. This person says, I'm sending this to multiple known sources in the gaming news arena. I hope this is taken in the spirit in which it is intended. I will keep this inbox open for 12 hours from now, then it will be gone forever. Here's what actually happened, but what cannot be said publicly by the Dr. Disrespect camp. And what that means is that Dr. Disrespect is still bound to the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement with Twitch, so he can't really give all the details because he would then violate, because here's the thing, he was paid out of his contract by Twitch. So if there was any wrongdoing or any violation of terms of service that he had committed, he wouldn't have been paid out his money. So that's going to be key when I read this email. Here's what actually happened, but what cannot be said publicly by the Disrespect camp. There were whispers between Guy, that's him, and a 17-year-old on Twitch. The age was not known at the time. So according to this employee, Dr. Disrespect did not know that the girl he was messaging was 17. These were messages in relation to how to scale new channels using tried and testing methods. Behind the scenes, this was a service that was offered by members of the Disrespect team under a different brand name. The brand name used could be interpreted many ways. The transcripts were part of the court proceedings and, as outlined, show no wrongdoing nor illegality. So there was a court involved in this because Dr. Disrespect said he was going to sue Twitch over the initial ban. So I guess it did go before a judge, and the judge did review the evidence and information and determined that nothing wrong happened. So we continue on with the email. The issue on the Twitch side was how some of the messages and branding used could be interpreted differently, and was interpreted differently by certain members of the Twitch team that had taken a dislike to Dr. Disrespect due to the bathroom incident. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but anyway, if you like I said, I don't really follow Dr. Disrespect, so if you guys know, leave the comments so I can follow up. But the internal feeling was that it would only be a matter of time before they got him on something. This one, however, was way wide of the mark and wasn't what they thought it was. So according to this this employee of Twitch, there was a core group in Twitch that was looking to bring down Dr. Disrespect, I guess, due to jealousy, due to his influence and how fast he was growing on Twitch. So they were trying to find a gotcha, and they figured that this was the gotcha they needed. It went before a judge and didn't turn out the way it did, based on the evidence that was presented to the judge. This became the result of a lot of back and forth at Twitch with various people in the let's get him camp and others in the we can't move forward with this camp. His whispers were being monitored because a core group of influential people within Twitch wanted him gone. Now, another reason for the possible NDA is because there is a terms of services in Twitch where they guarantee that your Twitch whisper messages are private and that they don't go through them. This email will prove that they violated that agreement, which means that if it ever becomes public and verified that they did this, they could be facing a pretty big class action suit by a bunch of creators because they signed on with Twitch under false pretenses of security. So they might be trying to avoid this, although I guess you could say the cat's out of the bag on this one. Anyway, the email continues. The whispers in question were actually from many, many, many weeks prior to his last stream. The initial explanation provided to him during the termination communication was inappropriate behavior not benefiting or befitting of the Twitch brand. He's right in what he said at the time of his go live on YouTube of, we still don't know, because for a long time, Twitch would not commit to an explanation over and above the inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand until the matter went to court. The matter went to court, and it was found in discovery that not only did a group of Twitch employees conspire to get him, but they also broke data protection, internal policy, and CCPA regulations by disclosing to a third party who he also had a contract with what they perceived to have happened. Initially, the argument on their side became, why else would he be messaging someone that young, implying only a sinister perspective? For the avoidance of doubt, there was no sexting, as implied by a former Twitch employee. That's Cody Connors. There were messages, but not of that nature. Dr. Disrespect was the one who initiated legal proceedings and settled because of the fact that once something like this is said of someone, it cannot be unsaid. And there would always be some, perhaps not fans, who would say, well, there's no smoke without fire. We have seen many people accused of things that turned out not to be true in the past, but by the time the damage was done, he agreed to the no party admits any wrongdoing joint statement because he, understandably, wanted all this kept quiet. So what this is saying is, number one, it was Dr. Disrespect who took this to court, not Twitch. That's the first thing that needs to be said. Number two, the judge looked at the information and determined that no, Dr. Disrespect didn't do anything wrong. Number three, the Twitch employees that pushed this narrative ended up with egg on their face because the information that they presented did not say what they wanted it to say. Four, Dr. Disrespect knows, as many men do, once an allegation is thrown at a man that he's a sex offender, he's a rapist, he's a pedo, groomer, whatever the case is, that stigma sticks with you. Even if you're innocent, it sticks with you and can destroy you. Now, as of this particular video, it's been said that Dr. Disrespect lost 10,000 YouTube subs since these allegations. So, from his point of view, he was right to not put this publicly. And Twitch also had a lot to lose by going public because they would then reveal that they violated their, as what it stated, the data protection internal policy, and it could open them to a potentially big class action lawsuit. Of course, now that this information is out, that I'm sure that's going to start moving the wheels now. But the email continues. The fact that a former Twitch staff member has now made this tweet has changed things considerably. It's quote unquote out there now and can't be walked back. Dr. Disrespect is furious that he cannot respond to this properly because his lawyers are telling him that it'll make the agreement invalid and he may be forced to pay back the settlement that he won. I'll say that again, that he won. So the reason why, based on this email, the reason why he may have edited or made changes to that initial tweet is because he can't, on his end, violate that NDA because then that money he got paid will end up being paid back to Twitch. So he's honoring his victory with Twitch in the civil suit. The email continues. There will be legal avenues explored on this one, and it will unlikely manifest itself in a huge damages claim against Twitch for this coming out. It's clear in the industry that they were absolutely raging when he reappeared on YouTube and came back bigger than ever. When he publicly backed Nick Merckx recently, the same group of current and ex-Twitch employees tried to identify if their compromise separation agreements from Twitch would be nullified if they spoke out and only had the guts to try after testing the waters numerous times before to sell concert tickets. This person would have largely been legally fine if he had not mentioned the word sexting, because it was all about damaging Dr. Disrespect's reputation. But because they used that word, expect legal proceedings to get underway quickly because the transcripts will absolutely categorically show that there was no sexting, but merely communications with someone who turned out to be a minor. That was not known at the time that certain people within Twitch who had an agenda against Dr. Disrespect pounced and made it fit their agenda with zero proof. I am a former Twitch employee. I now work elsewhere. I will not be identifying myself and I will not answer any questions about who I am. However, I will answer some questions in relation to this case as I was very close to this at the time. He deserves the right to have some transparency, but he's tied legally in what he can say until new proceedings progress. He has the right to some of the story being out there, even if he can't be the one to say it. So I'm sending this as an independent party who is fully aware of the facts and feel very uncomfortable with what I've seen thrown at him in the past few days based on the agenda of a small group of people who did not like him. You should also ask yourself, why are some of these people no longer at Twitch? Because they broke policy and in some cases by law, in some cases the law by breaching data protection regulations. Many people were dealt with as a result of this and lost their jobs. So he's saying that those people that found those DMs with Dr. Disrespect lost their jobs because they went against the Twitch policy of data breach protection. You have a duty, he says, to balance the reporting of this until such times as court proceedings provide the clarity you should have waited for but didn't. And just to read the last sentence on the email, he says, the Midnight Society piece is an example of a lot of people getting cold feet. They asked him about it, and he told them messages existed, but they weren't in that nature reported, but couldn't share them as part of the settlement, and the decision was made to put out the statement in haste regarding his firing. That was an impulsive move that they'll regret later. So, in summary, now, if this email is legit, let's assume it's legit. That means that Dr. Disrespect can't give us the whole story, nor can he show receipts because the NDA that he's bound by is preventing him from doing that. Therefore, people like Cody Connors can go out there and say whatever they want unless they are punished legally in a civil case. But that's pending if this email is legit. But there's a lot of information in this email in detail that seems to corroborate why Twitch was sitting on this for 4 years. Because if there was anything that was wrong, they will be held liable and possibly even face some kind of legal proceedings by a DA over what would be interpreted as inappropriate conversations with a minor. But as this email states, before a judge in court, it turned out not to be the case. So Dr. Disrespect is bound by his NDA. He can't show any proof or receipts on his end to exonerate him after, I guess, I don't know how much time that the NDA exists for, probably an indeterminate amount of time. But we'll see. We'll see if Dr. Disrespect, if what Cody Connors is saying is false, we'll see if Dr. Disrespect takes any kind of action against Cody Connors. But this is the information that we have now. You guys tell me what you think. You tell me what do you think that Dr. Disrespect is innocent? Do you think that he may have incriminated himself with some of what he said? Do you think he misspoke because the NDA is preventing him from giving too much of his side of the story? Do you think Twitch violated the data protection policy that they have in place for people that use their Twitch Whisper service? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading it. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk soon. Take care.